let me give you some tips with how to perform a good abdominal crunch and some cues that are actually quite useful for your clients also. So Michelle's just lying in this position here. One of the first things that I get my clients to practice is to get the rib cage to pull in. So as you can see her ribs here, see how she's just pulled in slightly? So that's the first movement of the ab crunch. So we don't want anything else moving. So just do 3 reps where you're pulling the ribs in. Now, as you can see, as she's pulling the ribs in, can you notice, Michelle, just move your arm so the camera can get the view. As she pulls her ribs in, you can actually notice that she's flattening out through the lower back, so her lower back is stretching. So that's a really great thing, because if the lower back is stretching, it means that the abdominals are contracting. Perfect. So once we've got that correct, let's progress the movement. So what we're going to get her to do is put her hands across her chest. Good. She's going to crunch down and then follow through by lifting her upper body up. Yeah, don't go and try and go too high, because as soon as she gets higher, she's actually starting to engage her hip flexors rather than the abs itself. So that's fine if you're wanting her to do abdominals and hip flexors, but to just do an ab crunch, you've got to avoid that full sit-up position. So an abdominal crunch and a sit-up are 2 different exercises, both effective, but both for different purposes. So let's just do the crunch again. So you pull the rib cage in, then slightly pull up and pause, go back down. Now, a lot of clients in this position tend to complain of neck pain. So the head can be quite heavy, sometimes up to 8 kilos. So if you think of all the poor muscles in your neck, trying to support 8 kilos on the top here. So for me personally, I think for the sake of the comfortable, for the client being more comfortable, I allow them to put the hands behind the head to support the neck if the goal is strengthening the abdominals. So we're going to do the same thing. Drop the rib cage down, good. Follow up, good. Now, as you can see from here, if I can, Michelle, try and hold as best you can, see how you've sacrificed some of the positioning of the head for the sake of the strengthening of the abs. Her chin is poked forward because she's using her arms. So as a personal trainer, it's important to know when you can allow the technique to fail slightly for the greater good. So if the greater good in this sense is to strengthen the abdominals, that's the main focus, then we can allow some deviation of perfect posture through the upper neck area for that sake. However, just remember, it's going to come at a cost. So if it's not something that you're aware of, she's going to eventually run into more problems because you haven't corrected that. So by all means, focus on this, but for the next session, get her to concentrate on not pulling through the hands so much. That's it.